They said Maya Johnson killed a man she loved. But what they really meant was they didn't believe a black woman could love a white man without a motive. This is a story of how a nurse became a murderer in the eyes of the law, and how it took 10 years on death row for the world to realize she was innocent. A story about love, race, and the system that doesn't just fail. It decides. It was raining the night Maya's life ended. She was 28, a nurse in Atlanta, exhausted from a double shift, planning to spend the evening watching a movie with her boyfriend, Ethan Ward. Ethan was a white tech entrepreneur, the kind of man who filled every room with confidence. They met when Maya treated him for a minor accident at the hospital. He fell for her quiet strength. She fell for his charm. But not everyone approved, especially his family. They tolerated her, but never accepted her. To them, Maya wasn't the woman their son loved. She was a mistake he wouldn't admit. When police arrived that night, Ethan was dead, 2 bullets to the chest. Maya was on the floor, crying, blood on her clothes, his blood from when she tried to save him. She called 911. She begged for help. But by the time officers arrived, she was already the suspect. Her fingerprints were on the gun, Ethan's gun, the one he kept by the bed. There was no sign of forced entry. And that was all the evidence they needed. Before sunrise, her name was all over the news. Black girlfriend arrested for murder of tech CEO. The story spread like wildfire. No one asked questions. No one waited for answers. They just saw a black woman standing over a dead white man, and the rest wrote itself. The courtroom was a spectacle. Cameras lined the walls, reporters whispered, and every headline had already decided her guilt. The prosecutor called her jealous, unstable, obsessed. He painted their relationship as toxic, claiming Maya killed Ethan in a fit of rage after a fight. Her public defender barely spoke, overworked, underpaid, and unprepared. When Maya tried to explain, no one listened. The missing security footage from their house, gone. The threats Ethan had received at work, ignored. The blood pattern evidence, dismissed. To the jury, she wasn't a woman in love. She was a danger, a stereotype they already believed in. After just 3 hours of deliberation, the verdict came back. Guilty. First-degree murder. Maya didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just sat still, like someone watching the last part of themselves being erased. They sentenced her to death. Death row changes people. You stop counting days. You start counting memories. Maya spent 10 years in a gray cell with no sunlight, no future, and no voice that mattered. She watched other inmates come and go, some executed, others forgotten. Every night, she wrote letters to journalists, to Innocence projects, to anyone who might care. Most were never answered, but she never stopped writing. Because hope, even in its smallest form, is the one thing the system can't kill. And then one day, a letter came back. It was from a journalist named Harper Lewis. Harper had read Maya's case file, and something didn't make sense. The time of death, the ballistics, the missing footage, none of it added up, so she started digging. What she found was more shocking than anyone expected. Ethan's company, the one he co-founded, was under investigation for financial fraud. Millions of dollars had gone missing, and the man in charge of the money, Ethan's business partner, Daniel Price, had everything to lose. Harper discovered emails from Ethan to Daniel, threatening to expose him. She found phone records showing that Daniel was near Ethan's house the night of the murder, but the police never looked into him. They already had their suspect. Then came the breakthrough. While reviewing old evidence in a retired detective's basement, Harper found a box labeled Ward. Inside was a hard drive, the missing security footage. It showed everything. A masked man entering the house. Ethan is still alive. Maya nowhere in sight. The video was time-stamped just minutes before the murder. It was proof, undeniable proof, that Maya Johnson was innocent. Harper released the footage online. It spread faster than any story about Maya's guilt ever had. The same people who called her a monster were now calling for justice. Protests outside the courthouse. News anchors apologizing on live TV. The system had no choice but to reopen the case. And after 10 long years, Maya Johnson walked out of prison a free woman. Freedom didn't feel like she imagined. It was quiet, empty, heavy. Her mother had died while she was inside. Her nursing license was gone. Her name still dragged to the internet, half cleared but never forgotten. The state called it a tragic mistake, but Maya called it what it was, a choice. Because from the beginning, everything was a choice. The choice to believe a stereotype over the truth. The choice to ignore evidence that didn't fit their story. The choice to protect power instead of justice. She gave an interview a few months later. Her voice was calm, steady. She said, "They told me I was free, but what they really meant was that they were done with me." And maybe that's the hardest truth of all, that in a system built on fear, being innocent isn't enough. Not when your skin tells a story before your mouth ever can. They said Maya Johnson killed a man she loved, but the real crime was that no one believed she could be innocent, because in America, sometimes the color of your skin is the only evidence they need. Since 1989, more than 3,400 people in the United States have been exonerated for crimes they didn't commit. Most of them are people of color. Many spent decades behind bars. Some never lived to see their names cleared. Justice isn't blind. It just looks away. If you believe stories like Maya's deserve to be heard, share this video. Because silence is what lets it happen again. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel. See you on the next one.